always had a fascination with abandoned places, drawn to their enigmatic history and the eerie atmosphere they exude. When rumors began circulating about an old morgue on the outskirts of town, its name whispered in hushed tones among locals, I knew I had to explore it. The building was a decaying relic from a bygone era, its crumbling facade obscured by overgrown trees and choking vines. It stood there, isolated and forgotten, a dark secret waiting to be unraveled. With my heart pounding and flashlight in hand, I ventured into the morgue's dimly lit corridors, my footsteps echoing ominously in the silence. As I delved deeper into the labyrinthine halls, an inexplicable sensation washed over me. The air grew colder, and an unsettling presence settled upon my shoulders, as if unseen eyes were fixated on my every move. I brushed it off as mere nerves, chalking it up to the eerie surroundings. That's when I first heard it, a haunting melody that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. The mournful tune flowed through the corridors, weaving an unsettling harmony in the gloom. It was played on an ancient piano that seemed strikingly out of place in the morgue's grim setting. My heart raced as I followed the music, the beam of my flashlight casting eerie shadows on the peeling wallpaper that clung to the decaying walls. The music led me deeper into the bowels of the morgue, its siren call impossible to ignore. The corridors seemed to stretch endlessly, as though the building itself had become a maze designed to ensnare the curious souls who dared to trespass within its haunted confines. Finally, the ethereal melody guided me to a small, dimly lit room. There at the piano sat a figure shrouded in a tattered white gown, its back to me as it continued to play. Strands of long, disheveled hair obscured its face, adding to the eerie mystery of the scene. My breath caught in my throat and I couldn't move. Fear had paralyzed me. The figure's skeletal fingers danced across the keys with an otherworldly grace, producing a haunting and sorrowful melody that resonated deep within my soul. Each note seemed to reverberate with centuries of longing and despair, as if the spirit of the morgue itself were pouring its melancholy into the music. As the final mournful note faded into the air, the figure at the piano slowly turned its head in my direction. In the dim light, I could make out the absence of eyes, empty sockets that seemed to peer into the very core of my being. A shiver coursed through me as it reached out a skeletal hand, its bony fingers beckoning me closer. Terrified and transfixed, I took a hesitant step forward, compelled by forces beyond my understanding. The figure's hand grew closer, almost close enough to touch. But just as I was about to succumb to its eerie call, sheer terror overcame me, and I turned and fled the morgue, leaving the haunting melody and the enigmatic pianist behind. To this day, I carry the weight of that chilling encounter with me. The memory of the ghostly pianist who continues to play on in that forsaken morgue still haunts my dreams. I wonder if the tormented soul trapped within those cursed walls will ever find release, or if it will forever remain bound to its mournful music, a specter of the past. I had always prided myself on being a skeptic, dismissing ghost stories and supernatural tales as nothing more than the creations of overactive imaginations. That was until the night fate led me and a group of friends to the abandoned morgue on the outskirts of town, a night that would forever alter the course of our lives. Our decision to explore the morgue had been a reckless one, fueled by youthful bravado and a desire for adventure. We thought it would be thrilling to spend the night within the shadowed confines of the dilapidated building, a place rumored to be cursed and teeming with restless spirits. As darkness descended upon the morgue, we discovered, to our growing dismay, that we were trapped within its decaying walls. Panic set in, but little did we know that it was only the beginning of our ordeal. In the pitch-black morgue, our group of friends began to hear whispers, soft, indistinct voices that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. They spoke in hushed tones, as if sharing secrets long buried with the deceased. The words were chillingly clear at times, recounting tales of pain, suffering, and untimely deaths. As the night wore on, the whispers grew louder, more urgent, and infinitely more unsettling. Shadows danced ominously across the peeling wallpaper, and a cold, clammy mist began to envelop us, clinging to our skin like an invisible shroud. We were paralyzed with fear, unable to escape the relentless torment that surrounded us. It was as if the spirits of the long departed were reaching out to us, their spectral voices imploring us for release from their eternal purgatory. Each whisper seemed to carry a weight of sorrow and despair, a heavy burden that gnawed at our very souls. Sleep was impossible, for every time we closed our eyes, the haunting voices grew more insistent, invading our dreams and turning them into nightmarish landscapes of torment. In the morning, after what felt like an eternity, we were finally freed from our eerie prison. Our escape was a harrowing experience, one that left us shaken to the core, forever scarred by the malevolent whispers of the morgue. We emerged from that accursed building with our sanity intact, but our skepticism shattered. The whispers of the morgue continue to haunt our dreams to this day, a chilling reminder that some secrets are better left undisturbed. We often wonder if the tormented souls of the morgue still linger there, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to stumble upon their spectral cries for salvation. My innate curiosity had always led me down dark and mysterious paths, and one fateful evening, it beckoned me to explore the foreboding morgue that had long been abandoned on the outskirts of town. The crumbling building stood as a grim testament to the passage of time, its once grand exterior now marred by decay and neglect. It exuded an unmistakable aura of death and decay, and I couldn't resist the urge to uncover its hidden secrets. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and a sense of trepidation, I ventured deeper into the morgue's labyrinthine corridors. My footsteps echoed ominously in the oppressive silence, and with every passing moment, the weight of the atmosphere grew heavier. An unsettling presence seemed to settle upon my shoulders, an invisible specter that watched my every move, an ominous guardian of the morgue's grim history. Despite the growing unease, I pressed on, determined to unearth the morgue's long-buried mysteries. The corridors stretched endlessly before me, twisting and turning like the tangled webs of fate, leading me further into the heart of the decaying building. My relentless pursuit of the unknown eventually guided me to a small, dimly lit chamber. At its center, an old embalming table lay shrouded in a tattered white sheet, a grim reminder of the building's macabre past. A strange compulsion overcame me as I approached the table, drawn to it as if by an invisible force. As I drew closer, an unseen hand, cold and relentless, gripped my own with an iron grasp. Panic surged through me as I struggled against this spectral force, but it was as if an otherworldly presence had taken control of my very being. With a sudden and violent motion, I was forcibly slammed onto the embalming table. The white sheet twisted and coiled around me, binding me in a grotesque embrace. My heart raced, and terror coursed through my veins as I realized I was not alone in that room. Whispers, chilling and otherworldly, filled the air, their source impossible to discern. They seemed to emanate from the very walls, the floor, and the ceiling. The voices spoke in cryptic, malevolent tones, their words a dissonant symphony of despair and madness. It was as though the morgue itself had come to life, its tormented spirit seeking to claim me as its own. The unseen presence loomed closer, its malevolence palpable, its icy breath brushing against my ear as it whispered dreadful promises of an eternity spent in the suffocating darkness. I could feel its malevolent intent, its desire to consume my very essence. With every ounce of strength left in me, I summoned a surge of adrenaline and broke free from the unseen grasp, my body drenched in sweat and trembling with fear. I fled the morgue, leaving behind the nightmare that had unfolded within those haunted walls. To this day, the memory of that terrifying encounter continues to haunt me, a stark reminder that some places are cursed beyond imagination. I often wonder if the unseen hand still reaches out for those who dare to enter, forever seeking to draw them into its dark, nightmarish realm, a sinister force lurking within the shadows, waiting to claim its next victim. And that's a wrap for today's video, folks. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed making it. If you found this video entertaining, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up by hitting that like button down below. Your support really means the world to me. And for more content like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button right here. That way you'll never miss any of my future uploads. Thank you again for being part of this amazing community. Your support keeps me going, and I can't wait to share more content with you. Until next time, take care and stay awesome.